This is the Kubernetes shell. So I've already launched a Kubernetes cluster on the Google Cloud Platform, the GKE. Of course, we also support other Kubernetes environments. Specifically, for instance, we support the Pivotal Container Service. And the benefit of using something like Pivotal is that you could essentially run Kubernetes on-prem using VMware virtual machines. And you get essentially you're running our operators in Kubernetes, and you can essentially take that same operator, switch over to Google Cloud and run it, and you'll get the exact same consistent a consistent feel for how your applications, in this case SnappyData and the entire analytics framework we are running, will be very consistent across all these sort of cloud environments. That's the idea. So how did I launch my clusters, my Spark components as well as my SnappyData components? We essentially use a Helm-based operator. Just through a single command, we have all sorts of sensible defaults, and you can override some of the defaults. It's very simple, so you don't have to really know a lot of the details around Kubernetes objects and resources. So the Helm LS gives me the real components that I've deployed into Kubernetes. As you can see, I have deployed a Cassandra cluster, a MongoDB cluster, and a SnappyData cluster. So let's look at the dashboard real quickly. So here is the Kubernetes dashboard. And what you can see here is that if I click on the clusters, I have a single cluster running. It's a very small cluster. I'm only running a cluster of size 4. Each node has about 4 CPUs for a total of 16 CPUs. And within that small cluster, I'm running and exposing all these services. I have Cassandra, Mongo, I have the SnappyData cluster, and several endpoints of SnappyData exposed. And finally, I have Zeppelin, which is our notebook server that I've exposed. I've also exposed Jupyter in case you want to essentially run Python workloads. The workloads here is nothing but the set of containers. I mean, without really getting into Kubernetes details, these are the pods that are running. A pod is nothing but an encapsulation on top of a Docker container. So for instance, if you look at the SnappyData server cluster, which is really nothing but the SnappyData data servers, I have 3 of those guys running. And of course, at any one point in time, you can, if you want, scale and rebalance the data across more nodes if you want to, right? So now let's look at the SnappyData dashboard. Here's the SnappyData dashboard, and it shows you that we have 3 data servers and a locator and lead node that's running.